Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a trying new makeup. I have some new products that I want to test out. I asked you guys on Instagram what you wanted to see, and a lot of these products I already have in my possession. Some of them I'm waiting for them to launch or I'm waiting for them to get to me. So today we're going to be playing with the new Morphe Glow Stunner Hydrating Tinted Moisturizer. I have some thoughts on this. You guys will see when we apply it. I also have the brand new Lancome Tinty Dual Ultra Wear Concealer. I was actually going to buy this and I got it in PR. I only got 2 shades though, so I'm hoping this will work for me, but I'm excited to try this because I love the foundation. Also got a lot of requests from you guys to play with the new ColourPop Powerpuff Girls collaboration. This just arrived yesterday, and I didn't know if you guys would be interested just because ColourPop does so many collections, but I got quite a few of you asking me. So I got the palette, I have 2 blushes, these cream sticks that are like shimmery. I haven't even taken them out or swatched them, so we'll do a fun look with that. I also have a sample I got from Sephora. This is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Primer. I know this is not a new product, but I don't believe I've tried the primer, so I put that in my bag with one of my orders. I have some products from BabsBeauty. I hauled these a while ago, and I've used a couple of these off camera, but I want to demo them for you. I have a cream bronzer, excuse me, my voice just cracked. I have a cream bronzer here, and then I have some cream blushes. So I'm not sure how I will play with everything because we do have the powder blushes from the Powerpuff collaboration. I also want to play with this One Size Turn Up the Base powder that I bought a while ago. I really have not given this much of a chance as well. I also wanted to retest this Jaclyn Putty highlighter just to kind of play around again. I'm still getting my thoughts, so I figure if I'm still testing products and I don't have a brand new product for you, I might as well do like second impressions on some of the products that maybe I'm still trying to get my full thoughts on. And for lips, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. I may test out one of these new glossy lip stains from ColourPop. This is from the Cherry collection, and they only sent me 2 shades, so I might use this maybe as a lip stain. So you always know how I am. When we get to the lips, I just kind of see where my makeup's at and we go from there. So I think that's mostly everything. I will link everything down below, and I may chat a little bit about what's been going on with me while we're doing our makeup. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe, and if you do enjoy these videos, if you could give me a thumbs up, it really helps my channel out. And let's go ahead and begin. So I've zoomed you in, and we're gonna start off on the eyes as I normally do. So this is the new ColourPop Powerpuff Girls collaboration. When I got this yesterday, I opened it, and this might be the heaviest palette that ColourPop's ever done for this size. Like, it actually feels nice and substantial. That's one thing I noticed, and it made me think, like, why do the other palettes not have the same kind of packaging? It just seemed special to me when I picked it up. So inside you get a mirror, and then you do get this shade range. So it looks like you have 6 matte shades, then you have 4 shimmers, and then 2 glitters. I wish they would just not do the glitters. I myself am just not that much into these chunky glitters anymore. I don't know. I feel like I'm more into like the Patrick Ta sophisticated glitter look. But I mean, glitter's fun once in a while, and I guess this is like a fun, sort of youthful collection, but I myself am not really into the glitters. So let's go ahead and swatch some of these, see what kind of pigment. I mean, I feel like ColourPop has a really nice formula, especially for the price. I don't know if I've ever like struggled with their formula. So these look like nice pigmented shades. I want to swatch the actual metallics. So here are swatches of the 4 metallics. These 2 stand out to me just because they really pack a punch. Kind of think they should have done maybe a different colorway for these 2 just because they look so similar. I've already gotten shit all over the palette, so there you go. So I don't really know what kind of look I want to do today. I'm trying to decide. The Morphe skin tint that I'm going to be using, I have some thoughts on, but it is extremely sheer, but I wanted to demo it for you. I've tried it a couple times, and I didn't know if I was going to do a video because it is, when I tell you sheer, to me, it's like Glossier skin tint sheer, but I don't want to go too heavy on the eyes. Somebody asked me in a previous video, like a comment about that. Do I feel that glam eyes need full coverage? Absolutely not. For me personally though, I do feel if my base is not evened out, I feel a little bit weird with heavy eyes. I just feel like I don't look balanced, but I've seen so many people that just have like gorgeous skin that look beautiful regardless. For me, I like a little more coverage when I'm gonna be doing glam eyes. So I'm trying to decide what colors I want to go with in here, because you really either are going to go this route or you're going to go this route. And I feel like I'm going to be that boring girl. I'm going to start off with this neutral shade. So this shade is called Crime Fighting. I actually like the tone of this. And I'm going to start applying this in my crease. So I actually tried to film the last 3 days in a row, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I was not feeling well. I don't know if it was anxiety, but I was having like shortness of breath and a migraine, and I'm not sure what was causing it. So not to get into too much detail, but I just haven't felt well. So I'm sorry that I haven't put a video up. I feel bad. I feel like I was on a roll there, and I like got ready, did my tan Sunday night, was like excited, had all these ideas, and then I tried to film. Just wasn't happening. So today I'm feeling better, but I don't want to like talk about it too much because I feel like it's like gonna trigger me to like feel bad about it or like stress over it, and I can't change whatever happens. So anxiety and depression is a real thing just because it comes out of nowhere, and I feel like a lot of the times I don't even know what is causing it or why I'm feeling that way. By the way, the base I used was the Hailey's Beauty Rewind Blurring Full Coverage Concealer. I used this in Fair Neutral. I felt like my P. Louise base was really dry, and I've been struggling with dry eyelids. I started 2 new eye creams recently, one for the day and one for night. So I'm hoping to just see some difference in how dry my under eyes are and my lids are. But I use this because it's a little bit more creamy and hydrating than the P. Louise base, but it still has that coverage. So I feel like it's working out well as a eyeshadow primer. I usually use the P. Louise lately, but I feel like it's just a little too dry for my lids. So next I think I'm gonna go into this pretty bright, sort of like red orange, and this is called Girls Rock. And I'm gonna keep this lower on the outer lid. I actually really love ColourPop's formula, and I love their makeup, and I feel like they have such good formulas, but I just think they put out too much for people to keep up with. And I really believe that. I don't know, I mean, obviously they want to make money, I understand that, but it feels like a lot of the stuff on their website is always just sold out. And it's like, if you don't do a video and talk about it like the day it launches, it's all sold out and then you can't get it. And I feel like as a reviewer, it's crazy. Like I just got this package, I want to say yesterday, and I'm filming today, but I think it became available yesterday. So if it sells out, then you're like kind of out of luck. So I kind of wish they would just like slow down a little bit. Like maybe do a new collection every 2 weeks, every month. Make sure they have more stock. And then I made an order to Soul Body to try some stuff out, and it took, I want to say like a week and a half to get to me, which it's just not the fastest shipping. So it's just sort of difficult when you're releasing a new collection like every 5 days, but it takes, you know, 15 days to get to somebody. By the time they get their new collection, 3 other collections have come out, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I just got this. So I just wish they would just slow down a little bit with the new collections. So while I know that ColourPop is trying to obviously make money and put out a lot of product, I do think it's very overwhelming for people to keep up. And I think I personally sometimes lose interest because I'm like, well, by the time I get it, 2 new collections will be out, it'll be sold out, and nobody will be able to get it, so why would I review it? That's kind of how I see it. So now I want to go into Pokey Oaks. I was gonna say Pokey Oats. This is like the more, I guess, deep muted, kind of red, like a, I don't know, a barn red color. Is that even the right shade? No, it's like reddish, rusty, who knows? I'm just gonna build this up. It's not super deep. Like you're not gonna get a deep look with this palette because it's very sort of subdued, bright, fun. So has anybody been watching Love Island? So Love Island came out a couple weeks ago, Love Island UK, and it's now on Hulu, but it's like only 1 episode a day. I am so bored. Like the cast might be the worst I've seen. Like I am shocked at how bored I am with the cast. And Love Island USA started like shortly thereafter, and it's much more enjoyable. The cast is just more fun and outgoing. It's so crazy how the cast really does make a difference. So I'm trying to get into the UK one, but I'm watching it on Hulu, so I think I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes in, and so far I'm just like, I only like a couple people. I'm so bored. I don't know if you guys are feeling that too, but definitely preferring the US version as of right now. which I usually love the UK. I love how they're like, fancy a chat, or like, do you fancy me, or snog, like they say snog each other, like kiss each other. They just have like these funny different sayings, so it makes it just like funny. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of disappointing me so far. So for the lid, I'm gonna go in with Frenemy, which is that peachy shade. It's like an orange, peachy gold shift. So that is what it looks like dry. I just spritzed my finger a little bit with some setting spray. I wanna see if this will look a little bit more intense right here on the lid. Yeah, I would say it amps it up a little bit. So Ian and I just finished all 4 seasons of a show called The Last Kingdom. If you've ever watched Game of Thrones, or if you've ever watched Vikings, it's very similar. I would say more so to Vikings. At first we were like, I don't know, but after like the first, 5 episodes, we got into it. So it was pretty good, just something to pass the time. It's so funny because like I have my trash TV shows like Love Island and like The Housewives, stuff like that. Ian's not really into watching, so I tend to watch those when he's at work, or like if he's golfing or whatever. And then we have shows that we watch together, which are more like Kingdom or Vikings or Animal Kingdom. So we try to find shows that we can watch together, because let me tell you, if we didn't have shows to watch together, Ian would literally have ESPN and golf on all day, and I would literally rip my eyes out. Like, that man knows nothing, no other channels. Is anybody else's husband like that? Literally, it's either a golf tournament or it's ESPN. Those are the only 2 channels that Ian knows, and that's literally it. And I'm like, sometimes I'm just like, I cannot watch golf for 1 more second. So I'm gonna take my KVD tattoo liner in Trooper and do a small wing. I swear, every time I say I'm gonna do a small wing, it turns out huge. So let's pray for me right now. So I went ahead and finished my wing off camera. Of course, they're way bigger than I wanted, but that's how it goes. And then I did try these new lashes. These are from Amy June Lashes, and they're in the style Jackie, which I thought were really nice and, dramatic, but not too much. So now I wanna start on my complexion. I did pick up the Ole Henriksen. This is the Banana Bright Eye Cream. I got this for daytime because it said it was good for fine lines, also for dryness and dark circles. My dark circles are more blue, so they're not really like, I don't know, like the deep brown dark circles. So I just want to start trying to wear this during the day. And then I got another one for nighttime that's more like anti-aging. So we'll see. I really never used an eye cream, and I've been noticing recently just like dryness that I never experienced before, and my fine lines really standing out. So hopefully this can help. I feel like eye cream is one of those things that I might have to try a handful before I can find what works best for me. For moisturizer, I'm going to use the Dominique Cosmetics Blur and Moisture Serum Primer. I use this more as just like a hydrating base. I actually went through an entire tube of it they sent me and bought another one. I do feel like it has a little bit of a blurring property to it. It's like a gel formula. I don't believe it has any fragrance, very thin, and it sits nicely under makeup. And then, as I mentioned before, I want to use this Dior Backstage Face and Body Primer. For some reason, I can't place if I've used this before. I want to say maybe I did, but a long time ago. I love the Dior Backstage line, and I love like the face and body and their highlighting palette. But I just saw this as a perk on one of my orders for Sephora, and I always love to try to grab really anything that I can on there that I think you guys might want to see or that I haven't tried yet. It has that Dior scent. I want to say I tried this, but it has been a long time. And I feel like when I did try this, I don't remember not liking it or being blown away. Feels nice. Feels like it has some smoothing in there, but it also feels like it's hydrating. Interesting. For my pore area, I did crack open a brand new Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. So I'm going to grab some of that. I always use this around my pore area. I know Tarte had some sort of controversy about saying they weren't using a filter, and they were. I'm not sure if they were. It did appear that way, but I just don't understand why brands do this. Like, the product is already a nice product. It does help blur your pores, so why use a filter? I don't know. I just feel like sometimes it's just like never ending with the problematic stuff these people do. And I'm like, why? Who approved this? Like, just show the product. Don't use a filter. Like, I don't understand. All right, so now I want to go into the Morphe Glow Stunner Hydrating Tinted Moisturizer. A lot of you requested this. I did get the PR package. I've tried a couple of these shades when I didn't have a self-tan on, and I can tell you my thoughts, but I want to read a little bit about it. Get glowing protection for your skin with this ultimate multitasking sunscreen that is infused with powerful skin-perfecting ingredients like hyaluronic acid, AHAs, and antioxidant. This lightweight formula provides SPF 30 and a hydrating glow for a natural looking non-greasy finish. Totally sheer and buildable. The finish easily blends into skin and stretches to fit multiple skin depths and undertones. So it's supposed to be sheer, natural, glowy, non-comedogenic, all that stuff. But let me tell you my thoughts. This is very sheer, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to only use this. I'm going to apply it to show you guys, but I tried to build this and it did not build over my redness. I feel like this is very much geared towards the SPF aspect, and if you really just want a little bit of a tint with an SPF rather than, in my opinion, a tinted moisturizer. And that's what they say. They say it's sheer. But I just want to say that I've been preferring like the NARS Radiant Tinted Moisturizer or the Fenty, and those are light, medium, buildable coverage. I don't really think this is buildable, but that's just my opinion. So I want to, you know, apply it for you guys. So I have medium 4 and tan 7. I think I'm going to mix. I'm going to pump out maybe 2 pumps of each. Now it's not very thick. You can see it's runny here. So this is medium 4, and then I pumped out some of that tan 7 so we can get a shade like this. So I'm gonna use my Stands Out sponge to blend this. I actually used to love this sponge, and then I don't know, I lost it in my collection or I couldn't find it anymore, and they sent me some recently, so I've been enjoying them. So I'm gonna start blending this in. I also noticed that this is very dewy. So you can see the coverage, which on my cheeks, it's not too bad. The problem areas I have though is around my nose. It doesn't want to cover my nose. So I'm gonna just try to build a little bit here. But you don't want it to look heavy, and that's sort of the issue is if you keep building it, I guess, and you're not really getting more coverage from it, then you're just adding product that's gonna be heavy. Now I will say, this is my first time using the deeper shades because when I tried it before, I think I used the lightest shade because I had zero self-tan on, and I've noticed that it's harder to cover my redness when I don't have a tan. I don't know what that is, but very fair foundations just seem to not cover my redness. This is covering a little bit more than the first time I used this. It also appears to be oxidizing. Ooh, okay. Okay, it's also patchy around my mouth. So let's just, do you see that? Okay, it's like really oxidizing. Holy moly, alrighty. Well, didn't know that, so that's good to know. Okay, what in the Sam hell is going on here? Are you seeing this? Oh my God. What is going on? It's almost like it dried down, and then when I tried to blend over it, it's lifting. You guys, look. It's one of those. Oh, it's getting chunky. I think this is going to be a no. I don't believe that this can be saved. Okay then, well, I honestly think I'm just going to remove it. I don't know what's going on, but for me personally, just the couple of times I've used this, I just feel like it's not enough coverage. I don't think it's ever happened to me. Has ever happened to me. I feel like I oxidized or it oxidized. Honestly, there's so many nice skin tints on the market. I wouldn't mess with this. So I'm gonna remove this and go in with like another tinted moisturizer that I actually like. So I did wipe off my base. It just wasn't gonna work. I will probably try to use that Morphe Skin tint a little bit more off camera, but I did reapply everything. So the eye cream, the pore primer, the Dominique Blur and Moisture, and then the Dior. But now I wanna go in with a skin tint that I know that I enjoy, which is the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop. I have the shade 8. I'm just gonna use the other side of that Stands Out sponge and start applying. I have no clue what happened with that, but just feel like it's not the product for me. The shade is a little bit light for my chest. If you're wondering what I used on my chest, I've been trying out this Soul Body face and body makeup. I got the shade medium 10. It's way too dark for my face, but it works nicely on my chest to give me that tan look. Okay, so here is the Fenty Eavesdrop in shade 8. It's definitely too light for this body makeup. I thought it was the right shade because I started off, I want to say, with like 4, I can't remember the shade, and then I bought 8 thinking it would be better, but it's still a little bit light, but that's okay. I'm going to go in next with the Refi Beauty. This is a cream bronzer in the shade Tan. This is a brand that just became available at Sephora, but these products aren't yet. And I've used this a couple times. This is a very dewy product and it looks a little bit deep. I think there was 3 shades and this is the medium shade. I'm going to use this e.l.f. brush. I think this is really pigmented too. Oh yeah, very pigmented, but I didn't notice any issues working with it when I've worn it a couple times. So I'm just going to start applying. Hopefully this can give me some warmth. I have such a hard time getting close to my hairline. I feel like I put too much there. So I dip back in just to start on my cheeks. You can see it's very pigmented. Pretty dewy, but it doesn't lift or patch. It's one of the easier ones to work with. I feel like if you have dry skin, this might be your favorite because it's not like heavy either. I don't really know how to describe it. It's very dewy, but it doesn't feel heavy on the skin or sticky or tacky. I mean, it definitely does feel like a cream, but it's not one of those, like I felt like the Makeup by Mario felt really tacky and heavy. So here's the Refi Cream Bronzer. I feel like it's really easy to work with. It's definitely dewy. I would say those of you with dry skin would really like it. I want to see how it does with setting it with powder, but super easy to use. I still feel like my face looks a little bit light, but we're just gonna have to go with it. So now I want to go in with this new concealer. This is from Lancome. This is the Tint Idole Ultra Wear Concealer. I love their foundation, so when I saw this, I was really excited. So I have the shade here, Buff Neutral. They sent me 2 different shades. I'm hoping that it will not be too dark. So it says a hydrating, lightweight, full coverage concealer that brightens the look of dark circles and covers imperfections without creasing or caking. Full coverage, matte finish. So we're gonna see about that. I feel like I like the packaging because it looks like you get quite a bit of product. So you get 0.43 ounces, so almost half an ounce. Let's see what the doe foot looks like. Okay, it's a larger doe foot, and I don't want to use a color corrector today because I want to see, oh my god, I just got that like in my eyeball. Good job. I want to see how this does on its own. I'm going to use this Tarte brush to blend it out. I love this brush. I really wish I had like multiples of it. Okay, so this is what the Lancome concealer looks like. I feel like it's quite creamy. Even though it's a matte finish, it feels nice and hydrating. It's a thin formula, so it doesn't feel heavy. I always am going to get creasing just because I have fine lines, but overall it feels nice. It's not very brightening just because of the shades they sent me, but if I end up really loving it, I might get a different shade. I'm going to set my T-zone with the Huda Beauty Pound Cake, and I'm using the BK Beauty 108. Which is one of my favorites from them. Ooh, I feel like I get creasing so fast. So to set the rest of my T-zone, I'm going to try this One Size powder. It's called the Turn Up the Base Foundation Powder. I got the shade Light 3. Let's see what this does. I swear that my face rejects natural products and cream products. Like, I literally have the hardest time with them, and I don't know why. I'm gonna try to press this powder on top to help out. That did seem to help. Now to actually set that cream bronzer, I'm gonna try the Dior powder. I just feel like it's such a light powder. It's actually called the Dior Powder No Powder, and I'm gonna use this puff from Beauty Blender. I'm gonna use like the lightest hand and press in. I feel like this powder really for me is one of the only powders that I can use over creams. So it really stands out in that regard. I am also still testing out this Vive Bronzer Duo in the shade Medium. I'm gonna go in to the warmer side here with an IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe Blush Brush and just very lightly go over that bronzer. So I want to finish off the eyes, and I might use one of these little eyeshadow sticks from the ColourPop and Powerpuff collaboration. This is in the shade Him. I think I'm just going to put a little bit of this on my lower lash line. So I just took it in about halfway, and I'm just sort of blending it, and then I'll probably add a little bit more. I don't usually use products like this, but we might as well try it out. It's blending nicely, like it's not sticking down too fast. So you have a little bit of time to work with it. So the eyes are done, and I want to do highlight. I want to use this Jaclyn Cosmetics Putty Highlighter again. I'm still testing these. This is the lightest shade, Glazed Out. It's very intense, very metallic. I wouldn't say that it looks wet though. It looks more metallic. So I'm going to try to use a Real Techniques setting brush and literally like the tiniest amount, maybe even buff. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dip in and then try to like buff it on the skin. It still has sort of that like glittery feel to it. I just want to see if I can make this look less metallic. Like I'm using the lightest pressure. I mean, I know the whole point of Jaclyn highlighters is to be metallic, but I found this one to be almost like a metallic stripe, and you can get carried away. So I wanted to see if there was a way that I could. Yeah, I think you can. I like that better. It's not like a stripe. So what I did is dipped in a couple times and then went on the back of my hand, and then the lightest pressure built it up. So for blush, I have two shades in the Powerpuff Girls collection. One of them is more of a really deep, I would say magenta pink, but those can be really beautiful on the face. And the other one is more of a creamsicle orangey color. Ooh, okay. I think I'm gonna use the creamsicle color. It's called Saving the World. So I'm gonna start applying this. I like that these are matte too. So they didn't do any glitter. Oh, it's a pretty shade. I also wanted to try one of the ColourPop glossy lip stains. This is in the shade Double Cherry. This was from their Cherry collection, but I wanted to try it as a lip stain. It's very liquidy. Okay, it goes on like that. So this is how I would use one of these shades because it's just really deep, unless I was doing a red lip, which I don't do often. It feels very thin. I guess it could be glossy if you know, really built it up, but I want to see how it looks and works as a stain. Okay, it definitely did stain my finger, so that's a good sign in terms of how long it's gonna wear. I've actually thought about picking up some of the lighter shades, like the pinks and the more terracottas, so I might pick those up from ColourPop. I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips with the Sourmet Cosmetics Nude 7 Lip Liner. And for lipstick, I bought another one of the Melt Nudes Ultra Matte lipsticks. This is in the shade Paris Fling. Okay guys, here's my finished makeup look using all new makeup, and I want to tell you my thoughts on the products, my first impressions. Of course, I do follow up with follow-up videos in my new makeup roundup videos, so if you're interested in my full review of a product, that will be coming. So let's start with the eyeshadow palette. So I wish they would have omitted the glitters. Just for me personally, I probably won't use them. I also think that they could have moved one of these shades and not been so similar. These two shimmers really stand out as, you know, the punchy shimmers, the green or the one I put on my lid, but I had no problems blending. I think it's a cute collaboration. Color story wise, it's not something that I'm going to use all the time, but I have to say I really do like the look that I came up with, especially with this little neon top. I feel like it's very summer-esque. This is definitely going to give you a very light summer look. The deepest shades in here would be this one and then this blue one, so you're not going to be able to do like a deep smoky eye, but I think that's really not the purpose of it. It's a fun, colorful summer palette. Also from the ColourPop collaboration, I actually really liked using this little color stick. They have 3 different shades, so they have a lime color, a baby blue, and then I use the more, I guess, pinky color. It was really easy to work with. It has a nice metallic sort of glitter finish to it, and I just put it on my lower lash line. Very creamy. It's not like a stiff formula, and I blended it out. I had time to blend it. It didn't get patchy or lift or stick, so I'd be curious to use these more maybe on the inner corner or maybe even on the lid. But this product surprised me as something that was really easy to work with, but it gave me a fun little metallic look on my lower lash line. Of course, I love the blushes in this collection. I love the packaging on it, but I really love the colors they chose too. This is going to be that peachy creamsicle color, the one that I used. It's just stunning, especially for the summertime. And then if you have a deeper complexion, I love that they included something that has a lot more depth, and this is actually going to be pretty on anyone. People get scared of these types of colors, but I love something almost with a little bit of a purple undertone. It's stunning on the face as well. Just use a light hand. So I would say out of the collection, this and the little shadow stick are my favorite, and then the palette. Now in terms of the Dior Backstage Face and Body, I actually really liked this. I like the feel of it. I thought this was going to be more of an illuminating primer like the Rare Beauty illuminating primer. It has a little bit of a luminescence to it, but it doesn't have that intense illuminating properties. This seems more like a subdued, giving your skin a little bit of a glow, but I like the feel of it. It's like a thick gel with a little bit of smoothing to it, so I'm interested to keep trying this. I know this isn't new, but to me, I just can't remember if I've used it, but if you use this, let me know. Did you like it? What were your thoughts on this? I tend to like the Dior Backstage products, so I'm intrigued to keep trying this. I'm not intrigued to keep trying this, the Morphe Glow Stunner Hydrating Tinted Moisturizer. Honestly, the coverage is very sheer and it oxidizes, and I find it to be super hydrating to the point of like not sticking to my face. I just don't think this is gonna be for me. The application was absolutely atrocious. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little clip. I mean, I don't care. I'll just show you how things apply. Of course, I will keep trying it. I'm just not a fan of this. I just feel like there's so many other options that I like a lot more. My number one would be the NARS Radiant Tinted. I'm combo and I love that one. It has a nice light medium buildable coverage, very thin, doesn't enhance your texture, isn't sticky or sliding all around, lasts pretty well, but still looks like skin. So this is gonna be a hard no for me. First impression on the Lancome concealer is good. I know they say that it's a full coverage. I would say, yeah, it's like a medium to full coverage. I used a very minimal amount, and lately, like I said, I've been having this just blueness coming through, so I would probably use a color corrector if I really wanted that like full coverage. I like the feel of this, very thin, big doe foot applicator, but the texture very, very thin, and I would say creamy. Now they do say it's a matte finish. I don't know if it's because I had that eye cream underneath, but it didn't feel super matte like the Born This Way concealer. This felt a little bit more creamy and forgiving. I think people are really going to enjoy this, and I'm excited to keep trying it. In terms of the Refi Beauty Cream Bronzer, I am not really a cream bronzer lover, but I always will try products for you guys just to let you know in case you do like them. I think this is one of the easier ones to work with. This one strikes me as a great option for those of you that don't set your face. If you have really dry skin and you use tinted moisturizer and then you just want to put on cream products, I think you would really enjoy this. So far I'm not disliking it. It's one of the easier ones to work with for me. The Jaclyn Cosmetics Putty Highlighter in Glazed Out is definitely beautiful, but I think it's a little bit too metallic for my liking. I still prefer her iced highlighter that was her original highlighters. They're creamy, but they're a powder formula. I just feel like this I would use more so on my inner corner or even my lid because it is so incredibly metallic. And I do feel like there is some sort of like glitter in some of the shades. The color range is a little bit strange too because this is very pink toned and then the second shade is very, very yellow gold. So I don't know if I would reach for the yellow gold really. So I'm still playing around with ways to apply this, but if you go in heavy-handed, it just looks like a stripe of metallic on your cheeks. It can be a little bit heavy and look a little bit like a glitter stripe on your face. So for me, I would like to sheer it out like I did today, and I feel like it gave me that nice highlighted glow, but it doesn't look too much. So still testing it. I'll keep playing around with different shades and different, you know, ways to apply it, but it's just not going to become a favorite of mine. Still enjoying the Vive Bronzer Duo. I have used this in my crease a couple times. It worked well. I feel like it works over cream bronzers. It works without them. I don't know if the tone is my favorite. I've been really loving more of a warm tone, and even the warmer shade in here is still not super warm, but the formula is great. I love the packaging. I really love Vive products. I think I've loved most everything from them except for the highlight. Also interested to keep trying this One Size powder. I do feel like it helped just even out things, especially on my nose and my chin, because tinted moisturizers just don't agree with my skin a lot of the time. And even the Fenty Beauty gets a little bit patchy and it doesn't want to stick. And I want to try this as a powder foundation as it's intended to. I know you can always use any powder to set, but I'm curious how this would be with nothing underneath, just as a powder foundation. So I'll work on trying that. But this did actually help kind of blend things together today. Still testing this Dior powder, but it is standing out to me to have one purpose, which is to set cream products. It does not lift, it does not add a ton of coverage, it does not stick down. So this is my go-to powder to set over cream products. I would never put this in my T-zone, probably because the color is a little bit deep for me, but because I need more of a heavy duty set down my T-zone. But for the perimeters of my face or when I'm using cream products and I have to set them, this has been the best powder I've tried for that. Interested to keep trying the ColourPop Glossy Lip Stain. I was on the website and had like 5 shades in my cart and then I got distracted. I probably will go on there and just buy some of the lighter shades because I would really love to have more of those bright like orangey, coral, pinky shades, and then I would put a nude lip over top, how I use them today. But I would also be interested to try them on their own. And I am loving the new Melt lipsticks. I just love the aesthetic of these. I love the colors. I hated the original formula. It was like thick, dry clay. This is very thin but pigmented, and I'm loving them so much. I bought 3 so far, and I'm like, oh, like I might literally buy 3 more. I just have been loving the colors. I love how the lip turned out. I feel like it's neutral, and this color looks a little bit sort of like orangey, but on the lips, it's just a nice, beautiful peachy nude for my skin tone. All right, so I think that is everything for this trying new makeup. I'm so happy that I felt better today and was able to film for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got to see some products in action. Even if some of them were a little bit tragic, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe. I will link all the products down below that I used today. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.